Tonight on CTV News, we take a look at a certain bug that has taken over Fort Collins.
Then we discuss the many clubs on campus and how to get involved.
This plus your CSU sports, weather, entertainment, starting right now.
Good evening, CSU and Fort Collins. Thanks for tuning in to CTV 11. I'm Alexandria Clow.
And I'm Bryn Carmen. Many people on campus have noticed the abundance of moths the last few days. In fact, it's the most Fort Collins has seen in over 30 years. The past few days, Fort Collins has been experiencing a moth invasion. The vagabond crambus has taken over the community because of a past outbreak of lawn-feeding caterpillars.
We think that it is a sort of local phenomenon. We don't anticipate it meaning anything. So, sometimes we think giant Miller moth numbers equal big problems later. In this case, since there's these giant numbers, and we haven't seen anything like this in over 30 years here in Colorado, nothing of this scale with the sod webworm, what it's actually showing us is a past infestation. So the caterpillars of this moth actually feed on the blades of grass, on grass tips. So that means that during this summer, there were hundreds and thousands of little caterpillars feeding on the grass, and yet almost nobody noticed. There was no calls in about problems in grass or turf dying or anything like that. So it's a past infestation, and this is the remnant of that.
This localized phenomenon is only happening in certain parts of Colorado. Camper thinks this could be caused by a storm pushing the moths in a certain direction, or simply an increase in insect numbers. Whatever the reason, this moth apocalypse is record-breaking.
This is the largest number of this species of moths that we've ever seen here in Colorado, at least in the last 30 years.
While the moths are harmless, the abundance of fluttering vagabond crambus are annoying to some.
Just wave my arms at them, and I do think it's kind of gross. I mean, I guess they aren't hurting anything, but it's just they're everywhere, and then their corpses are everywhere, and it's you can't step or move without touching them,
Camper thinks this isolated event will be over by Friday or Saturday, and that Fort Collins may never experience this spectacular moth swarm again.
After Friday or Saturday, their energy will have petered out and they will die. So there'll be lots of dead moths around, happy birds.
Like Camper said, the moths are expected to be gone by the weekend, but in the meantime, to avoid the vagabond krampus, keep your blinds closed and your porch light off.
This week, Sierra Magazine released their Cool Schools Green ranking, where CSU was ranked as the 11th most sustainable school in the U.S. The rankings come out once a year and highlight schools that have shown a strong commitment to becoming more sustainable, energy efficient, and environmentally friendly. In recent years, CSU has done just this by focusing on ways to become greener. This has happened through increasing solar power, composting, alternative transportation options, farm-to-table initiatives, and more. This is the third year in a row that CSU has been listed in Sierra's top 20 cool schools. A beam that was retrieved from the rubble of the World Trade Center will be on display in Fort Collins this weekend. The 5-foot-long and roughly 3,000-pound beam will be at the 9/11 ceremony at Spring Park from 1 to 5 on Sunday afternoon. The official ceremony will start at 3. It will include a speech from Poudre Fire Authority Division Chief of Operations Rick Vandervelde. After the ceremony, community members can talk with firefighters who were deployed to the World Trade Center and firefighters who helped bring the beam to Fort Collins. The beam first came to Fort Collins in October of 2015 and will eventually be turned into a permanent memorial in Spring Park. The annual CSU Involvement Expo took place yesterday and earlier today. The expo gives students a chance to meet and talk with all of the different organizations on campus.
The expo featured over 180 student organizations that are looking for new student members. The organizations at the expo ranged anything from snowboarding to logging.
Mainly we're a club dedicated to progressing our skills in the terrain park. So if you have some experience snowboarding, we like to invite anyone who wants to get better to come with us. We got 3 pro coaches. We'll go up every weekend, we carpool, and any tricks you want to learn, ask the coach and they'll teach you.
There are currently a little over 300 student organizations on campus, and there is something for everyone.
And this is just a great opportunity for them to network with the students and have people join the organization if they're interested. So.
Students are encouraged to join at least one organization before graduating to be more involved in the community and on campus.
in reality, if you're really intentional with your involvement, you can really do well and it will really nourish you. So I think everybody should try to get involved in at least one thing outside of class.
Well, we're kind of a competitive lumberjack team. We go to all these different schools and we compete in chopping events, chainsaw events, tree climbing events. And if people want to get involved, they can come out to our field. It's on the corner of Overland and Vine. We practice every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 4:30 to 6.
If you didn't have a chance to make it out to the Involvement Expo and are looking to join a new organization, you can stop by the Slice office in the LSC or go online to www.lsc.colostate.edu/get-involved.
A fire restriction for unincorporated areas of Larimer County has been extended until September 17th. The ban is in place due to the high winds plus dry and hot conditions which have caused Larimer County to be susceptible to wildfires. On Sunday, a wildfire started on the edge of Larimer County and then developed into a 350-acre fire. 2 days after the fire started, the ban was extended. The fire restrictions include any open fire, smoking in public, fireworks, and more. Anyone who does violate the restrictions will be fined.
Former NASA astronaut and director of CSU's Systems Engineering program will soon be inducted into the Colorado Space Heroes Hall of Fame. Dr. Ron Sega, who became an astronaut in 1991, will be recognized in October by Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper. He is receiving the honor for his work as an astronaut in the NASA program as Director of Systems Engineering at CSU and for his first time at the Department of Defense and U.S. Air Force. Since 2007, Sega has worked on the CSU faculty promoting systems engineering while educating students. Coming up next, Nicole Conklin has your weekly weather forecast.
Looks like we're in for a nice weekend.